A two-star Major General was with NATO troops making a site visit to this base west of Kabul when a man believed to be an Afghan soldier opened fire.
This happened around midday during what the military calls a key leader engagement. That's basically a meeting between coalition military officers and their counterparts when the assailant, as we're told, opened fire with a light machine gun.
A German general was also wounded in the incident. The attacker was killed.
The phrase green on blue violence is nothing new, really. American intelligence and the military have known about its spread for some time. But as America continues to try and extricate itself from the Middle East, it's these killings that make it evident the job is far from done. And the enemy is using these to ensure America never leaves. So what do you do next? Welcome back to MidPoint. Assistant editor at Blue Force Tracker and former intelligence chief and Marine Corps infantry squad leader, James LaPorta joins us. James, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me back, Ed.
James, I want to read something for you. You're not going to be able to see this, but you will be able to hear it as I read this back. Our audience is going to see this graphic here. This was published August the 27th, 2012 in Newsweek magazine. This is a comment from an Afghan National Army officer, calls himself Major Hassan Zada, which is a pseudonym, would not give his real name. Quote, I understand why our men are shooting U.S. and NATO soldiers. I, too, have been personally hurt by the way American forces behave towards my soldiers, our villagers, our religion, and culture. Too many of them are racist, arrogant, and simply don't respect us. One soldier told me, in my heart, I want to empty my bullets into their chests. He has not done anything yet, but we are watching him carefully. I think these insider attacks have reduced, if not ended, our social relations. I think the Americans do not see any solution except to keep their distance. Now, granted, that was almost 2 years ago, but it would seem that that sort of idea still persists in the Middle East right now, certainly in Afghanistan, Iraq, places such as that. How do you overcome that? And shouldn't the American administration and the military leaders be well aware of this and take extra precautions every single day they have their people in the field?
You know, it's a common phrase in the military that complacency kills. And especially when you're over in these hot spots around the world, you can't get complacent. And it's funny you mentioned the 2012, he said that in 2012. If you look at green on blue attacks from 2011 to 2012, we saw a 175% increase in insider threat attacks. And that's contributed to some of the cultural differences, the offending of the Islamic religion. If I go back to 2012, your viewers will see you had the accidental burning of Qurans in 2012. You'll see a Staff Sergeant Robert Bells going into an Afghan village and actually murdering 9 children in cold blood. You'll see the famous Marine urination case where they were urinating on the dead Taliban. So it's been a common tactic, and it's consistent with asymmetric warfare. It just doesn't attack physically. Ideologically, it attacks military members in a mental state as well.
Yeah, but James, let's look at those instances. You talk about 3 of them right there. I'm sure there's more that we haven't heard about. When you talk about the grand scope of things in the military theater that is there, the number of troops that are there, the number of times they come into actual contact with the locals here, it's hard to believe that this is the norm. That would be outside of the norm. That would be something so unique to see. There's got to be more going on that's better here. At least you would try to believe that and try to hope that when American soldiers are out there, there's not always this problem, that some people actually want us there. That's the hard thing to believe, that 2 or 3 instances or a few would turn an entire nation against a group of people.
It really is a melting pot of people who do like the troops there on the ground and people who don't. I remember going into villages in Afghanistan where the village absolutely loved that we were protecting them at night and protecting them from the Taliban who would come in at night and behead their children, behead their wives. But then I'd go literally 2 blocks down the street and I was in a village who didn't want me there, who didn't want me in their country, who were sympathetic to the Taliban. So it's a very complicated case. But the warning signs are there in intelligence. If you look at the report that we reported in on Monday, in regards to the base Delhi shooting, the warning signs are there. There was a 56% increase in insider threat shootings even before the warning was sent from Major Jason Bresler to the Marines in Afghanistan.
So should we not put at the top of the list reasons why the enemy wants America to stay, and they will use this as a reason? Are these green on blue killings? are the way to get to the Americans, show them that things are still not right, try to find a way to prove that the Afghani forces have absolutely no clue how to run a country, so you better stay here, America. It would seem to be nothing more than a well-done ploy in many instances, not necessarily to kill Americans, but to get America to stay and prolong the war. It's a psychological edge more than anything else.
You're absolutely right in that assessment. I mean, the Afghan population wants us to stay there and wants our continued support in regards to intelligence, in regards to training their forces. But at some point, we're going to have to draw back. It's their country. It's not our responsibility.
But the terrorists want us to stay there, too. Isn't that true? It's almost as if people think they want to drive us out. No, they know how public opinion in America works in their favor in many ways. They're not stupid. Maybe that's the one thing that we need to understand, whether it's green on blue killings or anything else. We're not dealing with people who have an IQ of a brick here. Some of them are pretty smart and they know what they're doing.
You're absolutely right. And their green on blue attacks have become more complex as the war has gone on. They've been able to gather our military ID cards. They've been able to gather our uniforms to get closer and closer to military troops in order to conduct these military attacks. I believe it was General Green. The way he was killed is the shooter actually got a hold of an Afghan uniform before he actually conducted the shooting. So he wasn't even a part of the Afghan army.
When you look at the way that these green on blue killings are happening, CENTCOM, the Central Communications here, the Army, the military, U.S. Central Command, whoever people want to call it, the intelligence, has 4 types of threats: infiltration, co-opting, mimicking, and destabilizing. It would seem that infiltration, when insurgents join the Army with the intent to attack, spy, or create mistrust, might be the easiest way to find them, to ferret them out. Why are we not doing a better job? I understand there's thousands of people here, a lot of people joining the military, but why, knowing that this is happening here and it has the possibility of killing our people, why are we not doing a better job of finding these insurgents?
You know, it was after 2012, and it was after there was 44 shootings for the totality of 2012. It was after that that they started to put in place a lot of the procedures that we didn't have. In 2012, before the Fob Delhi shooting, Marines weren't even allowed to carry weapons on the bases. They're in an active war zone, and they weren't even allowed to carry loaded weapons on the bases. I remember in 2012, President Karzai instituted a counterintelligence operation in which he would put spies into the Afghan army, into the Afghan police, to try to vet these insider to try to stop these insider threats. But unfortunately, insider threats continues to be a tactic that the Taliban, Al-Qaeda, ISIS continues to use.
We in America always seem to get caught, as the world does, I guess, in what comes up in the media, what the latest is. ISIS right now is what everybody is talking about. Some people calling them worse than Al-Qaeda and more dangerous than Al-Qaeda at this time, when Al-Qaeda faced us back in 2001. The Taliban. Are we missing it here once again? Are we so focused again on the latest shiny terrorist bauble that we're missing what the Taliban is still capable of doing to our military?
The problem is we have so many threats and not enough personnel to fight the threats. Right now, we are drawing down the military to pre-World War II numbers. And we have all these threats popping up in Iraq, popping up in East Somalia, popping up in Nigeria, and we're still fighting in Afghanistan. But the problem is we're drawing down our troops at the same time that we're trying to sustain a global fight against terrorism. And unfortunately, that's not going to happen. You have to maintain your good Marines, your good soldiers, airmen, sailors. You have to maintain your troop strength in order to continue to take the fight to the enemy. If you keep drawing down the troops, you're not going to have any personnel to keep fighting these global wars.
I got about 45 seconds left. Could we then say that that's something that the common soldier, he or she, just shakes their head at constantly, knowing that they see that the threat is growing, but our own military and our own government don't seem to get it and are basically just not giving them the tools they need to get the job done?
You're absolutely correct. I mean, there are officers who are currently serving in war zones right now who are getting notices that, hey, in 30 to 60 days, you're out of a job. I mean, it's absolutely despicable that the military would send pink slips to these officers who are trying to lead men in battle and then expect them to carry on the fight to the enemy. It's absolutely a shame.
10 seconds. Is that the military's fault or the presidential administration's fault?
I would say it falls on the administration and the Department of Defense.
And that's going to have to end it right here, but that is something that people have talked about, and we're going to have to continue. James LaPorta, always a pleasure to have you on the show, my friend. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
We mentioned those 4 types of threats: infiltration, co-opting, mimicking, destabilizing, and you still have to wonder, with all this here and screening that has been hampered, why we are still not able to do a better job finding the people that may kill our people there. Later on this hour, a call for what needs to be done in Ferguson, Missouri, and that it says something about America and the relationship between citizens and police. Next up, checking on Wall Street with the Money Master, because every day, right here, we question everything. MidPoint continues on the Newsmax TV network.